Here for sound check. and that's a good thing because I am not turned on. But let us know if this sounds good to you. Volume wise, we want to make sure that we're welcoming Shabbat the right way.
Right. What?
I don't have anyone monitoring the comments yet.
Yedid nefesh avarachaman avarachaman Meshochevdecha el ritzonecha el ritzonecha Arachadecha kemo aya ishtachaveh el huradera Yedid nefesh avarachaman avarachaman Meshochevdecha el ritzonecha el ritzonecha
Oh, was it on?
Very low.
Maybe it wasn't on. Oh, is it on?
Yeah. Is there a way to turn up my guitar in the, what's behind Jordan, that thing?
The board?
It's an outstanding question.
He aims to please.
Is that called Seth Floor?
What's that?
Is that known as Seth Floor?
No, it should just be guitar.
Seth Wireless? Oh,
No.
No. It should just say guitar on it.
I have a Kim guitar.
Yes.
It could say that.
That's what it is.
Kevin's calling to tell us that we're live.
Did you just adjust?
Slightly.
Are we still running live? Oh.
Oh,
So we're
Yeah.
checking the guitar right now.
yeah. Yeah. We're going to see if it can be heard with the voices, though.
Yedid nefesh avarachaman avarachaman Meshochevdecha el ritzonecha el ritzonecha
We have 7 people at home that are like, what is going
They're like,
on?
we missed the start of the service.
You have not missed the start of the service.
not
We've
missed the
decided
start.
to do a
We're just
live
sound
sound
checking.
check so we can listen to ourselves on social media.
You might be a little loud, Kim.
I might be loud? I'll turn the gain down a little bit more then.
This was better though?
Yes.
Do you still want it up more or?
I could do a tad more.
Would you like to stay live or would we like to now cut to countdown clock?
Wow, I need to pick. Never had anybody tell me I was too loud. It's so great.
I would like a little piano check, and then we can cut them.
Welcome to Sound Check Live.
Awesome. And
If you're
Len, did you
joining
give me
us,
just a
you
little
have
bit
not
more
missed the
guitar?
service.
You don't have a screwdriver in the Bima, do you, Rabbi?
And Sunday Kim is singing with the piano so that I can just hear.
Let's do a little Ritzay to make sure my mic doesn't peek out when we do the top of that scary thing. You know that thing. Ritzay Adonai Eloheinu b'Amcha Yisrael, Amcha Yisrael, u'tefilata What was that? Do you want to do that little high part though, so I can make sure the mic's okay? Excuse me. El karov lechol karov, b'nei avodecha v'choneina. Seems okay.
Great.
All right.
Are we done sound checking?
Yes. Thank you.
And going to.
Esa El Heharim Me'ayin Yavo Ezri Esa Enai El Heharim Me'ayin Yavo Shamayim va'aretz Esa enai El Heharim Me'ayin Yavo Ezri I lift up my eyes to the mountain. Where does my help come from? I lift up my eyes to the mountain. Where, oh, where does my help come from? You know my help, it comes from God who made heaven and earth. Esa enai El Heharim
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
How about one,
Why don't
two-
you say it?
Then we'll go one,
Okay.
two, three.
You could just do this. 1, 2, 3.
Shabbat
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. I wanted to open this evening's service with a message from Rabbi Josh Weinberg from Israel. Al Eila ani bochia, Einai Einai yorda mayim ki rachok mimeni menachem meshiv nashi hayu b'nei shomamim ki gavar oyev. For these things do I weep, my eyes flow with tears. Far from me is any comforter who might revive my spirit. My children are forlorn, for the foe has prevailed. From Lamentations, and here's the message. Our hearts are heavy after the tragic loss of 45 souls as we begin to understand the terrible disaster that occurred during today's Lag BaOmer celebrations on Mount Meron in northern Israel. Our deepest condolences go out to all the families whose lives are torn apart now, including children who are orphaned and parents who lost children. This tragedy is such a heavy loss for all the people of Israel, and we express our sorrow over this terrible and senseless loss of life. There are many questions that will have to be addressed around the circumstances of this tragedy, but as Shabbat comes in and the victims are laid to rest, we bow our heads with them in pain and grief. Hamakom yinachem etchem b'tol sha'ar b'lei Tzion b'Yisraelim. May the omnipresent comfort them, along with the rest of the mourners in Zion and Jerusalem. It is on a day when during the Omer we meditate on Thanksgiving that I'm reminded of W.S. Merwin's poem, Thanks. Listen, with the night falling, we are saying thank you. We are stopping on the bridges to bow from the railings. We are running out of the glass rooms with our mouths full of food to look at the sky and say thank you. We're standing by the water, thanking it, standing by the windows looking out in our directions. Back from a series of hospitals, back from a mugging, after funerals, we are saying thank you. After the news of the dead, whether or not we knew them, we are saying thank you. Over telephones, we are saying thank you in doorways and in the backs of cars and in elevators, remembering wars and the police at the door and the beatings on stairs. We are saying thank you. In the banks, we are saying thank you in the faces of the officials and the rich and of all who will never change. We go on saying thank you, thank you. With the animals dying around us, taking our feelings, we are saying thank you. With forests falling faster than the minutes of our lives, we are saying thank you. With the words going out like cells of a brain, with the cities growing over us, we are saying thank you faster and faster. With nobody listening, we are saying thank you. Thank you, we are saying and waving, dark though it is. We say thank you, even when it is dark. We bring in light, especially when it is dark. We bring each other together, especially in the dark. And so we begin with the words from the Psalm, Hine ma tovu ma naim, shevet achim gam yachad. It is good when we can come together and say thank you together, even as dark as it is.
Hine ma tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad.
How good it is,
How good it is,
how sweet it is,
how sweet it is
to be together on this day. How good it is,
how good it is,
how sweet it is,
how sweet it is
to be together on this day. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. Hine ma tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. How good it is,
how good it is,
how sweet it is,
how sweet it is
to be together on this day. How good it is,
how good it is,
how sweet it is,
how sweet it is
to be together on this day. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. Shalom Aleichem,
should understand that within each of us a lamp glows. Each lamp is like none other. We must work to reveal our own light for all to see, making it a torch that can illumine the world.
Baruch Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kishanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlikner shel
We continue with welcoming those angels that follow us home from shul. If you were going to shul, but you're at home, the angels are around us of Shabbat, and they are hoping that this is a sweet one for us. They are here to bless us, to be with us, to take leave of us.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Borchem l'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You may rise if you are able. Yitkadal v'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah Be'alma divrach hirutei ve'amlich malchutei B'chayechon v'yomechon Uv'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael Bagala bagala Ubizman karim V'yimeru Amen Yehi Shmei Rabbah mevarach le'alam la'omaya yitbarach yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitale v'yithalal Shemei dekudesha brichu Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata Tushbechata v'nechemata Damira be'alma V'yimeru Amen.
Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Ya la 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 la, 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 ya la 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 la. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam va'ed, Le'olam va'ed. Yalalai lai lai, 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 yalalai lai lai. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidbaro ma'ariv aravim, ma'ariv aravim. Bechokma poteach sharim, ubitvuna mishaneh itim, ומחליף את הזמנים ומסדר את הכוכבים במשמרותיהם. הרקיע כרצונו, ידעי
Al kin Adonai Eloheinu
יסיר ממנו לעולמים. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael.
What usually flows from those beautiful words of Torah are the continuation describing our own ways that we should love and show love to God. Another song, which is a love song to God, is Yedid Nefesh. Please join.
Yedid Nefesh Avrachaman, Avrachaman, Meshol Chavdecha El Ritzonecha, El Ritzonecha. Yedid Nefesh Avrachaman, Avrachaman, Meshol Chavdecha El Ritzonecha, El Ritzonecha. Tzaddecha kemo haya yishtachaveh el mul hadarecha. Yedid nefesh avrachaman, avrachaman, Meshol Chavdecha El Ritzonecha, El Ritzonecha.
Part of the essence of the quality of this week of the Omer, of gratitude, is also a quality of humility, of accepting things as they are. And in this spirit, I offer this. Always we hope someone else has the answer. Some other place will be better. Some other time it will all turn out. This is it. No one else has the answer. No other place will be better, and it has already turned out. At the center of your being, you have the answer. You know who you are, and you know what you want. There is no need to run outside for better seeing, nor to peer from a window. Rather, abide at the center of your being, for the more you leave it, the less you learn. Search your heart and see. The way to do is to be.
Walking in the light of God. We are 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 walking, oh, we are walking in the light of God. We are walking, oh, we are walking in the light of God. Mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nehedar b'kodesh. Mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nehedar b'kodesh. No ra tehilo, oseh be'eleh. No ra tehilo, oseh be'eleh. Malchutzecha ra'u banecha, חוקי הים לפני משה ומרים. זה אלי ענו ואמרו, זה אלי ענו ואמרו. אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. We are walking in the light of God. 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 We are walking, oh, we are walking in the light of God. We are walking, oh, we are walking in the light of God.
Grant, O God, that we may lie down in peace, and raise us up, O guardian, to life renewed.
The people of Israel shall keep Shabbat, observing Shabbat throughout the ages as a covenant for all time. It is a sign for all time between me and the people of Israel. For in 6 days Adonai made heaven and earth, and on the seventh day God ceased from work and was refreshed.
Let
Please rise for the tefillah.
Adonai, Sifatai Tiftach, Ufi Yagi Tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Yalla lai lai lai, 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 yalla lai lai lai.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Vekonei Hakol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, U'mevii Gula Livnei Bneihem, Leman Shemo ve'ahava, Melech Ozer Moshiach Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Bezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayei Metim Atarav L'Hoshia, Morid Atal, Mechalkel Chaim Bechesed, Mechayei Metim Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim Berofech Olim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Michamocha Bal Gevurot, Umidom Belach, Melech Memit Umechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, B'ne'eman atah lehachayot meitim, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh hametim. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, U'kadoshim b'cho yom yahalelu v'asela, Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el ha'kadosh.
You may be seated, and we join responsively. There are days when we seek things for ourselves and measure failure by what we do not gain.
On the Sabbath we seek not to acquire, but to share.
There are days when we exploit nature as if it were a horn of plenty that can never be exhausted.
On the Sabbath we stand in wonder before the mystery of creation.
There are days when we act as if we cared nothing for the rights of others. On the Sabbath, we are reminded that justice is our duty and a better world our goal. Therefore, we welcome Shabbat, day of rest, day of wonder, day of peace.
They are
Every day I see or hear something that more or less kills me with delight, that leaves me like a needle in the haystack of light. It was what I was born for, to look, to listen, to lose myself inside this soft world, to instruct myself over and over in joy and acclamation. Nor am I talking about the exceptional, the fearful, the dreadful, the very extravagant, but of the ordinary, the common, the very drab, the daily presentations. O good scholar, I say to myself, how can you help but grow wise with such teachings as these, the untrimmable light of the world, the ocean's shine, the prayers that are made out of grass?
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha. Shalom, Shalom, Shalom. Ki atohu melech adon v'chol hashalom. Ki atohu melech adon. Shalom, Shalom, Shalom. V'tov beinecha levarech et amcha Yisrael b'chol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha. Shalom, Shalom, Shalom. Shalom, Shalom, Shalom. Shalom, shalom, shalom.
Shalom, shalom, shalom. It is what we wish for when we wish refuah shlema, renewal of body, renewal of spirit in our prayers for healing. We call to mind all of those people in our lives who are in need, and we offer them these blessings of wholeness and peace.
Misheberach Avotenu Makor HaBracha Imotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen.
We pray at this time for Chris Argall, Nancy Ash, Leah Bray, Mindy Beller, Chanalea Bat Devora, Betty Cohen, Amy Cooper, Richard Eisen, Andrew Fisher, Dean Gavney, Jacob Gluckman, Roger Gluckman, Gabby Goldberg, Stuart Goodman, Tom Gosnell, Alicia Good, Ramesh Gupta, Bert Horwitz, Laurel and Wally Jonas, Jean Nofel, Chris Kuntz, Bill Rockamora, Bert Rothman, Jim Rudisil, Julie Sherman, Shoshana Slatke, Dakota Rose Zeman, Matthew Treehub, Bob Ward, Marlene Wexelblatt, and Bob Winner. Are there additional names to add this evening, Len?
Michael Littlekin, Diana Kleinman, Rosita Kleinman, Donna Wade, Casey Baker, all law enforcement and their extended families, Gloria Cohen, Carlin Farrelly, Linda Lateau, Carol and David Sutphin, Sheila Crandell, Pat Cairns, Gail Kielson, Penny and Paul Levy, Bo Farson, Stan Tenon, and Christiane Leslie.
Misheberach Imotenu Makor HaBracha Avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
I invite you to take a moment of silence.
To feel
meditation on time, inspired by the counting of the Omer, which is also part of this week's Torah portion and more. And I'm grateful to Rabbi Jonathan Sachs of blessed memory and to Rabbi David Wolpe for some inspiration that appears in this Devar Torah. Thought number 1. When I attend retreats, I don't check my email for days, even weeks on end. And just the thought of hundreds of emails sitting in my inbox can make my blood pressure rise, even now. Back in the olden days when I would travel across country, oftentimes for retreats, however, I learned something remarkable about time. Of the several hundred messages awaiting me, I inevitably discovered that a good share of them were advertisements or junk. A small fraction of them required my attention, but the vast majority, even some that contained some urgency when they were sent, had already taken care of themselves. Had I checked them all right away as they came in, I would have exerted myself on items that just needed time and space to arrive at their proper resolution. What I learned on the airplane trips home from retreat is precisely what Emerson recalled in an essay he wrote about Napoleon. Napoleon directed Bourrienne, his close confidant, to leave all letters unopened for 3 weeks, and then observed with satisfaction how large a part of the correspondence had thus disposed of itself and no longer required an answer. Today we live in a digital age in which our perception of what is a normal response time is somewhat skewed. We expect that because instantaneous communication is possible, it is also desirable and necessary. Viktor Frankl is often attributed with one of my favorite sayings, which is, between stimulus and response, there is a space. And in that space is our power to choose our response. And in our response lies our growth and our freedom. I might add, growth and freedom lie in the time between the ding from the inbox and writing back. Perhaps we can all take a page from Napoleon and appreciate how sometimes time is itself the answer. Time allows for reflection and clarity to arise, to let tempers simmer and cool, for fairness to come forward. Sometimes allowing time to do its healing magic is the most loving response of all. Davar acher, a different observation on time. You may remember the famous dispute between the well-known rabbis Hillel and Shammai, who argued about how to light the Chanukiah. Shammai argued that on the first day we should light 8 candles, and then on the second night, 7, and so on down to 1 on the final day, to parallel the numbers of sacrifices that would have been offered in the temple on each day of the festival. His intellectual sparring opponent, Hillel, advocated the opposite, to light 1 candle on the first day and 2 on the second, etc., and so forth. His rationale was that our pattern for lighting the Chanukiah should express a magnification of the light and our joy, instead of its diminishment over the week that we celebrate. Jewish law followed the counsel of Hillel, and each day of the festival of Hanukkah, we add a candle and we add light to our menorahs. Shammai was also known to live in time differently than Hillel did. All his life, the Talmud recalls, Shammai ate in honor of Shabbat. So if he found a particularly attractive animal, he'd set it aside to eat it on Shabbat. And if he found a better animal later on in the week, he'd set that one aside for Shabbat and eat the first one he'd found during the week. In essence, Shammai lived in teleological time in relation to a destination. Already from the beginning of the week, he was conscious of its end, of Shabbat. And the Talmud recounts that Hillel lived in time just the opposite. His approach was inspired by Psalm 68, where it says, Baruch Adonai Yom Yom, blessed is the Lord day by day. In other words, Hillel lived each day in and of itself, without regard to what came before or what would come after. For Hillel, faith was a matter of taking each day as it came, trusting in God to give the totality of the time its shape and direction. When it comes to counting the Omer, the 50 days between Pesach and Shavuot, Jewish tradition seems to prefer Hillel's way of moving from one day to the next. We don't count the days beginning at 50 and then going down each day, ending at 1. Instead of narrowing our focus and awareness by counting down the days until we get to our destination, namely Shavuot, each day of the Omer, day after day, we are invited to take each day as it comes and realize the journey is just as or more important than the destination. Baruch Adonai Yom Yom. Each day is another chance to pay attention, experience freedom, magnify our joy. This same idea is deepened in a teaching from Rav Yosef Dov Soloveitchik, a 19th century Polish Talmudic scholar and rabbi who taught this. The basic criteria which distinguishes a free person from a slave is the kind of relationship each has with time. When the Jews were delivered from the Egyptian oppression and Moses rose to undertake the most impossible task of metamorphosing the tribe of slaves into a nation of priests, he was told by God that the path leading from the holiday of Passover to Shavuot, from initial liberation to consummate freedom through revelation, winds through the medium of time. The commandment of the counting of the Sphirah, the Omer, the wondrous test of counting 49 successive days was put to the Jews because slaves who are capable of appreciating each day and grasping its meaning and worth make themselves eligible to receive Torah. After Soloveitchik, we might say, he has achieved freedom who truly treasures the gift of time. As it says in Psalm 90, teach us rightly to number our days that we may attain a heart of wisdom. And yet a final parting thought about time and transformation. It may seem that our training to attain hearts of wisdom is exclusively about experienced time as Hillel did, and as our liturgy suggests, with God in his goodness renewing each day the works of creation. It is true that each day is marked by the same succession of events: dawn, sunrise, the gradual trajectory of the sun across the sky to its setting and nightfall. And the year is a succession of seasons: spring, summer, fall, and winter. All life is a repeating sequence of birth, growth, maturity, decline, and death. Underlying the cyclical changes, the world remains the same. As the book of Kohelet, Ecclesiastes, reminds us, generations come and generations go. What has been will be again, and what has been done will be done again. There is nothing new under the sun. Our holy day calendar that we're given in this week's Parsha outlines these ever-repeating cycles of time and season and commands us about what rituals should mark these occasions. And no matter what else is going on in the world, on Shabbat we rest, on Yom Kippur we fast, during the Omer we count. There is a solidity and an eternality to living in this concept of time. But there is also a strand of our tradition that is open to Shammai's sense of linear time, of history moving in a trajectory towards a destination. The strength of his point of view is that it is a concept of time that allows for change, for something new to arise under the sun. Sure, the Jewish calendar is based on the cyclical nature of time, and our sacred times and seasons also belong in linear historical time, or as Rabbi Jonathan Sachs called it, covenantal time. While Shavuot celebrates the appearance of the first fruits of the growing season, it also commemorates the giving of Torah. And while Sukkot celebrates the harvest's arrival, it also recalls our people's 40 years of wandering in the wilderness. Likewise, the counting of the Omer calls on us to pay attention to both cyclical and covenantal or linear time. Each day of the counting brings forth its own blessing in the form of new grain, and each day therefore calls for its own act of thanksgiving. But the Omer also marks our people's footsteps from Egypt to Sinai, from redemption from slavery to revelation. It sees a directional path carved from being a people who are free to do what they want to becoming people who do what is right. The absence of a master was not sufficient to transform a group of individuals into a free society based on equality and justice. The moment our people accepted God's covenant and the Torah that flows from it, make that aspiration possible. The implications of this awareness of the dual nature of time being both cyclical and linear are great. It means that parts of the human condition are unchanging. We were born and we will all die and others will come after us. And there are parts of the human condition that we are given to believe, to have faith, along with our prophets, are subject to revolutionary transformation. Time is not just a series of eternal recurrences in which nothing ever changes. Time is also an arena to experience God, not only in nature, but in history, urging us to incline our lives and point our actions towards bending the arc of the moral universe towards justice and bringing about the time when all may sit under his vine and fig tree, and none shall make him afraid. Let us conclude this meditation on time with the words of Psalm 90. Teach us to treasure each day.
Love you.
invite you to rise if you are able so that we may count the Omer together.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivonu al sfirat haomer. Hayom arba ushloshim yom shehem arba v'shisha yamim laomer. Today is the 34th day, totaling 4 weeks and 6 days of the Omer.
Continue now with Aleinu. Please join.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שהוא עשנו לשומרי האדמה, והוא שמנו לשליחי התורה, שהוא שם חיינו איתם, וגורלנו עם כל העולם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו
Our thoughts turn now to all of those who have departed, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and our neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives are a blessing to humanity. We think of Villa Mansour, cousin of Raquel Graining, who passed away in recent days, and we acknowledge the yahrzeits of Helen Argall, Homer Argall, Samuel Cohn, Hyman Dave, Henry Hyman, Libby Friedman Levinson, Frances Miller, Betsy Rosenberg, Bessie Schneider, Jane Senor Western, and Myron Zients. Are there additional names in memory from the chat?
Keith Albin, Arthur Edelson, Wesley Rummins, and Mimi Gennett.
Zichronam livracha, may all of their memories be for blessing. If you are in mourning or it is your custom to rise, please do and join us in Mourner's Kaddish, that we may give thanks for the gifts of life and memory. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon v'yomechon u'v'chaye dechol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'vizman kari v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam alamei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shmei dekudesha brichu. Le'ela min kol berchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min Shemaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, v'imru amen.
I close my eyes, only for a moment, and the moment's gone. All my dreams pass before my eyes, a curiosity, dust in the wind. All they are is dust in the wind. Same old song, just a drop of water in an endless sea. All we do crumbles to the ground, though we refuse to see. Dust in the wind. All we are is dust in the wind.
Shabbat Shalom. I'm Raymond Capilouto, representing your Board of Trustees. Thanks for joining us tonight, and thank you to Seth, Sarah, Kim, and Rabbi, as always, for a lovely and beautiful service. I have some announcements to share with you. The Stock Market Madness Challenge has begun. If you entered the challenge, be ready for live Zoom updates on Saturday evenings at 8:30 p.m. You should have gotten an email with the Zoom link today, but updates will go out via email after the live update. It's been great fun to see who is in the lead each week and how it changes from week to week. Good luck, everybody. Tomorrow evening, the religious school is hosting Havdalah and a Bingo Ba'omer event at 6 p.m. Registration is required. Please see your religious school emails from Seth for info, or email him at rsdirector@bethhatefillah.org for more information. We have a unique in-person opportunity coming in May for CBHT members. The Caring Community Circle will offer a COVID-safe, modern midrash writing and storytelling workshop spread out over 3 2.5-hour sessions at CBHT. We all have a person in our lives that has changed us just enough to change everything. We all have a need to give that story a voice and send it out into the world where the moment can live on forever. Every person has such a story, so join Melissa Seligman to learn how to craft your moment. Registration is limited to meet COVID-safe guidelines. Sessions will begin on May 10th, and the registration link will be in your email on Tuesday. Join us this Sunday for a special Kehillah Tefillah on our Facebook page at 9:30 a.m., followed by religious school. You will have to be there to enjoy the surprise. Don't forget that each Monday at noon we have Torah study, and Tuesday mornings at 8:15 a.m. we have Bonei Shacharit, our morning prayers. We would love for you to join us. Next Friday evening is Family Shabbat services at 6:30 p.m. with Seth, and Cindy Filer will deliver the Devar Torah. Also mark your calendar for the upcoming Simchot in May. Avery Ward, daughter of Andrea Neal, will become a bat mitzvah on May 15th. And Jackson Klebanoff, son of Daniel and Kathleen, will become a bar mitzvah on May 22nd. We look forward to everyone sharing in these events with us in May. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen l'chaim.
All right, touch someone. Oh, we get to touch people tonight. It's so exciting. Yeah, we can just all touch the challah.
Oh, yeah.
Here we go. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz b'tei avon. B'tei avon.
Peace will yet come. May the one who makes peace in the heavens make peace here for all Israel, for all the world.
Od Yavo Shalom, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Shalom, Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'i Meru, Vehi Meru, Amen.
Od Yavo Shalom, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Shalom, Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru, ve'imeru, Amen. Ose Shalom Bimroma, Hu Yaseh Shalom, Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel. Yaseh Shalom, Shalalom, Yaseh Shalom, ve'imeru, Amen. Yaseh Shalom, Shalalom, Yaseh Shalom, ve'imeru, Amen.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you, Jordan and Len Levi,
Thank
for the
you.
tech support. Thank
You're
you all for
welcome.
being here. Soon we'll be here. Soon.